You want to listen to a podcast?
By who?
Georgia GOP Congressman Doug Collins.
How is it?
The greatest thing I have ever heard in my whole life.
I could not believe my ears.
In this house, wherever the rules are disregarded, chaos and mob rule. It has been said today, where is bravery? I'll tell you where bravery is found and courage is found. It's found in this minority who has lived through the last year of nothing but rules being broken, people being put down, questions not being answered. And this majority say, be damned with anything else. We're going to impeach and do whatever we want to do. Why? Because we won an election. I guarantee you, one day you'll be back in the minority and it ain't gonna be that fun. Hey everybody, it's Friday. Yes, you made it to another Friday. It is amazing. It's great. It's been a good week. It's going to be a better weekend. But the best way to get started on your Fridays is for you to come here to the Doug Collins podcast and be a part of James and I as we discuss all that is worth discussing and sometimes overlooked by definitely the mainstream media, by definitely even the second string media. Okay, let's just face it. We're looking at the National Enquirer and the Star. Okay, but hey, these are good stories. They're fun to talk about. We're also going to talk about some issues in the real world with golf and with soccer and with everything else. But today is just another day for Friday's finest. While the chaos rules in D.C., where you can't get bills passed because people are blocking rules from coming to the floor, so you can't do anything right now on the floor, and that's been a problem all week. Come here. We'll help you out. It's Friday's finest. Right after the break, we'll be right with you. Hey, everybody, you know about Legacy Precious Metals. Legacy Precious Metals, you hear from them. We talk once a month. We talk about Legacy Precious Metals, talking about precious metals being part of your portfolio, how they're your navigator. Well, now they're not only navigating in a new way, they're actually giving you a new way to buy gold and silver. In fact, Legacy Precious Metals has developed a revolutionary new online platform that allows you to invest in real gold and silver online. In a few easy steps, you can open an account online, select your metals of choice, and choose to have them stored in a vault or shipped to your door. I'm more of a ship to my door kind of person. I enjoy having them with me, but they can do it either way, and you can now do it online. It gives you real access to a dashboard where you can track your portfolio growth in real time, anytime. You'll see transparent pricing on each coin and bar. This puts you in complete control of your money. This platform is free to sign up for. Just visit legacypminvestments.com and open your account and see this new investing platform for yourself. Gold hedges against inflation and is against a volatile stock market. A true diversified portfolio isn't just more stocks and bonds, but a different asset class. This platform allows you to make investments in gold and silver, no matter how small or large, with just a few clicks. Remember, do as I have done. Go to legacypminvestments.com and get started today. And now you've got a new tool to help you along in your investments. Hey folks, MyPillow is excited to bring to you their biggest bedding sale ever. For a limited time, you're going to get the Giza Dream bed sheets for as low as $29.98, a set of pillowcases for only $9.98, and rejuvenate your bed with a MyPillow mattress topper for as low as $99.99. $99.99. Get a mattress pillow topper. Look, they come in all sizes. They got all kinds of stuff, blankets. They've got duvets. They got quilts. They got comforters. They got body pillows. They got bolster pillows. They got all that big discounts. And also, they're extending their money-back guarantee for Christmas until March 1, 2023, making them the perfect gift for your friends, your family, and for everyone you know. Folks, and just from a personal note here, I have the Giza Dream Sheets. They're on my bed right now. I slept on them last night. Some of the best sheets that we and Lisa and I have ever owned. They are worth, at this price, they're a steal. My wife and I have bought bed sheets, linens at much higher cost. It's supposedly much higher quality. These from MyPillow are at the highest of quality, and at a price like this, you can't beat it. So go now to MyPillow.com, use promo code Collins, COLLINS, or call 1-800-986-3994, and you'll get huge discounts on all the MyPillow bedding products, including the Giza Dream bed sheets for as low as $29.98, and get all your shopping done while qualities last. And remember, put in that promo code Collins for these discounts. All right, we're back. Friday's Finest is here upon us. I am here ready to go from the headquarters here in Georgia. We've got James, our Texan by way of New Jersey. James, say hello.
Hello, and Douglas, how are you today?
I'm good. I hope you are. How is life in Texas doing right now?
Well, the other day I got in my car and it was 119 degrees, so I just went back inside because I didn't want to die. And I thought that was the best thing for me and my health. And then a couple hours later, I was like, oh, it'll be fine. So I went and worked out outside in a long sleeve T-shirt like an idiot and almost passed out. But other than that, it's just Texas.
I'll have to say that I'd love to hear from folks. Go to the DougCollinsPodcast.com and hit the email button. I'd love to hear from you. Tell us how your weather is this year. I will have to say, Georgia's weather has been the strangest, and I've been here in Gainesville for 57 years here in August. This is one of the stranger spring, summer, winter, whatever you want to call it, that we've had. We were relatively mild through January, February. We got warm at the end of February into March, and then we got brutal cold in March, and I think it was end of February, March. Killed the peaches. By the way, if you're looking for peaches, forget about it. Or James, do I get this right? Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Forget about it. 'Cause you ain't going to get them. Georgia peaches are basically across the state 90% decimated. Florida citrus got decimated. Even in South Carolina. So if you're looking for high price on peaches this year, get ready because it's coming. And then we sort of went into just this weird mode. We get real wet during the spring. Then we went dry, and our temperatures have been moderate. I mean, we've gotten into the 80s on this past weekend. We got into the high 80s a little bit in sun. It was warm, humidity for the first time. But the mornings, we're still in the low 60s in the morning with very little humidity. Just really different weather here for North Georgia.
Yeah, that is not happening in Texas. It's hot when you wake up, and it's hot when you go to sleep. It's hot in the middle of the day. Then for some reason, it'll be like 70 degrees out of nowhere. And you're like, oh, I can turn the air off and stop spending all that money. And then 10 minutes later, you're sweating in your chair, and you're like, oh, wait, that's right. It's Texas, and we're all going to die.
Yeah, you got to keep that. You got to keep the whole thing smooth.
Yeah, and we have those like random rainstorms. Like we don't have that in New Jersey. If it's raining, it's going to rain all day. That's it. In Texas, it's like here's 15 minutes of hell. Good luck trying to get in your car. Yep. Then you wait 15 minutes, and you're back to grueling heat, and your car's dry.
Now I will say that is summer in the South. Okay.
That's what I've been told. So
summer in the South and all the way over to Texas. I mean. Okay, here's an argument for us. Is Texas really the South?
Pretty sure anything that's not New Jersey is the South. So,
well, I would agree with you on that. But you think about it. Texas is just in that weird spot. I mean, look, if you ask a true native Texan, they believe Texas is its own country. Anyway, I get it.
It's as south as it gets. It's south of America.
And now that we've added Texas and Texas A&M into the South Eastern Conference, again, not a big fan. But, I guess you can sort of say they're the South. But when you get over Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, Tennessee, North Carolina, I mean, that afternoon, especially Georgia, Florida, Alabama, and other South Carolina, you get that afternoon, it's summertime in the South. It bubbles up, hits you about 3 or 4 o'clock. As long as it doesn't blow a tornado or blow the doors off, you get through the lightning, get through the deluge rain, and then it passes. And if you're lucky, it's a big rain. If you're not, you get a little sprinkle, and all you get is this humidity and steam rising up from the ground.
That sounds horrible.
It's amazing. It's what you have in life. So anyway, for those of you if you want to weigh in on the Texas, is Texas the South, go right ahead. Email us here at the Doug Collins Podcast, James or I, hit the email button and email us and we'll be happy to get back to you. On that, speaking of which, I touched on this on the Wednesday podcast, James, and I come back to it now. What in the world with the PGA Live and the DP World Tour? I mean, you talk about catching somebody off guard.
Yeah, when that dropped yesterday, I watch a lot of sports shows. I know you do too, and I know you watch regular news because it dropped there too. What an insane! First of all, kudos to their teams for not leaking anything. Because this negotiation must have been going on for a little while. They didn't leak a thing. And when it dropped, I remember everyone just like, oh, so we're just abandoning everything we talked about last year, right?
No, I was going to say, that was one of the I heard yesterday when he met with the players, And somebody basically stood up and said, you're a hypocrite. This, you've been out this whole time. And Rory, I can't remember. I had to find exact people. But Rory said, something about just play better, and the guy basically told him to f off. Rory the other day when he did his press conference, he said he hated the Live Tour, but yet he drew a distinction between PIF. And I'm wondering if he's trying to draw a distinction, saying, "Yeah, PIF, come in. I want my money."
Well, if you look, I can tell you what he said. This is from today, actually, what he said exactly. I believe it's today, or it was yesterday. I could be wrong. He said, "I still hate Live. Like, I hate Live. I hope it goes away, and I would fully expect that it does." I think that's where the distinction here is. This is the PGA Tour, the DP World Tour, and the PIF. Very different from Live, like you said. So, listen,
How is it different?
It's different because it's not the league that he said he hated a year ago, and he wants his money.
The PIF is the one with the checkbook. That's the difference.
What they did to they straight up hung Rory McIlroy out to dry. He put his foot down for them. Same with Tiger, but Tiger kind of has been really out of it. He hasn't been as I hate Live. Rory's, that's all he's done. And they just said, you know what? Money talks louder than your loyalty. And they said they're going to compensate him, but there's no compensation for making someone look like an idiot for a whole year. You know what I'm saying? No.
Yeah, it's just like, how do you do this? It's just like,
well, you know how they did it, Doug. The Saudi. As far as we know, there were a ton of lawsuits, and I think there was some stuff that was going to get out, and it was safer to just have Live join than to have that stuff come out. That's what I've been told. I've seen a couple times in different places, and also, they're going to still be a nonprofit somehow. But
the PGA side,
yeah, and then
it's going to be an umbrella under a bigger organization. Do I now?
But you know who's going to pay for it? Because to be nonprofit, somebody has to pay for you. You know who's going to pay for it? The Saudis.
Oh yeah. Well, at the end of but the PGA currently is a 501c3,
right? And they're going to keep that,
and so it'll stay that way, and then it'll be umbrellaed by the new PIF, whatever.
So basically, all those leagues are just going to pay for it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If anybody thinks Jay Monahan's got a job after another couple of weeks, they're idiots. I just don't see how that happens. The players just are not going to react. But here's my question, and again, some of these questions are early. We know Friday's finest. We try to do the fun light side here a little bit. But a serious question about this is, like Rory said, I want Live to go away. Well, is Live going away? And if Live goes away, do they have to honor those contracts that they gave to, to the Mickelsons and DJs and everybody of the world, the DeChambeau and Koepka? And if it goes away and they just get absorbed back into the PGA, is now the PIF money going to fund bigger prizes? Or worst case, another scenario, not worst case, I get it depending on how you look at it. Live stays around. The best golfers in Live come back to the PGA for sporadic tournaments and majors. But does the PGA Tour player get to go to Live?
Yeah, see, that's the interesting thing is like how does the league work? Can they jump from league to league? Can they do what they want? I wouldn't be surprised if Live turns out to be almost like a farming system to find players, like to the way like the G League is for the NBA. I don't think that's going to happen, but I just thought of it.
Are they going to take the money away from it? Because
no. That money's the guys who you're saying the guys who are currently with Live, are they going to get paid? They're all getting paid. I just don't know if anyone else is going to get paid that ridiculous money going forward.
Yeah,
or everyone in the PGA is going to get a bit of a bump. I would assume. We don't even know what the money is to what it's going to what the merger cost is going to be in general. Like that could be you're talking about one single golf league again. The number could be insane.
Well, I mean, it's just it's just really interesting to me that you get the uh, the tour. I mean, to me, I'm going to say this, and we won't spend all day here, I promise. But the issue here for me on this whole deal is, it seems half cocked. It seems like they all of a sudden announced this. We've got a deal. Let's do this. Throw it out there without talking to any of the PGA players. Undoubtedly not talking to any of the LIV players, because I also read an article yesterday that Greg Norman did not know about
it. The king of LIV didn't know about it?
Right.
Here's what I'm talking about, though. Like, they kept this so quiet. I don't know if this happened in a couple of days or if this happened in a couple of weeks. Like, we don't know we know almost zero information about this.
Yeah, like, what is the big deal? But then, okay, you're going to bring a blockbuster thing like this that changes the shape of golf, professional golf, and you don't have the details of it. I mean, that to me is the part that bothered me the most, in the sense of just saying, look, I don't, at the end of the day, whatever, but you don't even have the details. Is it going to be 3 leagues? Is it going to be 2 leagues? Is it going to be 1 league? What's the, the process for putting them back into the PGA if they want to come back to the PGA? Right. How are you going to, again, this reminds me so much of something else that we've mentioned here before, and our good friend Coach Gailey has talked about. This reminds me of NIL.
Yeah, it seems like they just kind of – well, see, the thing is, though, at least the NIL, we knew like years that this was coming. The LIV Golf Tour showed up last year out of nowhere, essentially, took every player – comes back a year later and is now signed with the league that basically damned it to hell. That's out of nowhere still. At least with the NIL, and I agree, it's still a little half-cocked, but at least with the NIL, we knew this was coming for quite some time.
Yeah, well, but now they didn't. I mean, the NCAA completely just dropped the ball, laid an egg. I mean, just wet the bed, whatever you want to call it. And now you've got it's just not just the NIL money. It's the how they transfer portal out. How, can they do transfer portal? I mean, you've got kids now that literally are playing. It's like a rec league team. They're playing for 3 different universities in their college career. Yeah,
but again, I've been the kind of person who feels like they can go wherever they want. If the coaches can go wherever they want. That's always been my.
But okay, all right, then let's just take this up for a second. We don't have Coach Gailey here, but we'll definitely get him on later in the summer and talk about this. Do you think? And again, I'm sort of in the middle here. I'm not going to say I'm a purist. I'm not going to say I'm a fuddy-duddy either. But it's going to be interesting to see how Deion Sanders in Colorado this year does after he basically came in and took 50 kids off scholarship and remade an entire team based on the transfer portal in NIL.
He basically told everyone to go.
Yeah. I mean, and think about that for a second. You're a kid who goes to a university, they give you a scholarship, you're living by maybe you're not even getting NIL money, but you got a scholarship, you're going to school, you're busting as a student athlete, and a new coach comes in and says, hey, kid, we don't want you. And I've been listening to some of the sports radio and especially coaches who are saying, look, this goes against the whole grain of, you went there because you wanted to go to the school to build your own program. And what you get when you get there is what you get. And Deion basically turned that on his head and said, no, that ain't what I get. I'm going to get what I want. I'm going to get a better team. And what got me about that is there were several kids that transferred in and then transferred back out in a matter of 3 months at Colorado.
Yeah, I think people, again, Deion very much, he's always going to do what he wants to do. Not that it's wrong or right. I'm just saying Deion's going to do his thing. And he's got a very serious coaching style, and the way he does things obviously worked out at Jackson State. But I think it's Jackson State. I could be wrong. I don't know why I'm blanking out on that.
It was. Yeah.
But with Colorado, it's a whole different ballgame, and I think he's like, I can flip this on its head and try to turn this team to a national championship team. I don't think that's going to happen. But in his mind, he's like, I can pick who I want when I want. He's going to do his thing, and he's seeing the transfer portal to his advantage rather than the kids, I think.
I agree. Well, and here's the other thing. Have you if you've not been reading, folks, if you've not been watching this, the Colorado, Arizona are both looking to go to the to the Big 12.
Who is? Colorado?
Colorado and Arizona.
I mean, listen, at one
The
point,
Pac-12 is
one
dead.
hodgepodge league, but for right now, I mean, listen, if the big schools are moving, why it's like everybody's trying to go up a notch, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, listen, we could talk about college football for days and how crazy the whole system is and how kids have been being used and coaches do what they want. Oh,
yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting. Look, this whole thing is, and everybody's talking about now, and they're getting on the SEC for only playing 8 games, 9 games. I don't think the SEC gives one iota about what anybody thinks about their schedule.
they're fine.
Yeah, fine. Do what you want to do. Will they probably go to 9 games eventually? Yes. What was really funny is in the whole SEC discussion about going to the 9 games, it was Saban was all in favor of it. And then all of a sudden it was like he decided not to. And it was based, because he got his 3 permanents work. And here's the interesting thing, because he plays these teams every year anyway. Tennessee, LSU, and maybe it was Auburn, I guess. Anyway, that was his 3 permanents from the West. It's like you play them anyway.
Yeah, you're right.
So I think he did it just to screw with the system.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's what Dion does.
Yeah,
Dion does. Break the mold.
Yeah.
Let me do something different, and he always will. And I think that's what makes him great, but also makes it tough.
Oh, yeah. Well, look, I think he's got a lot. I mean, if they don't have a winning record this year at Colorado, there'll be a lot of heat on Dion.
Oh,
they got to have. They don't have to go to the bowl. They just got to get. They got to have a winning record.
They do, but I don't know if he's gonna his first season. But I think they're going to give him like 3 years to turn the program completely around. Not that it was an awful program to begin with, right?
It's got history.
Yeah, but listen, it's Deion Sanders. It's a huge name. He's going to bring them a lot of money regardless. And he says, I'm going to do it my way. I don't care what anyone says. And it's not like he's not for the kids. Deion does care about the kids. But he basically was saying, like, I need these players, and that's how – and if the transfer portal can work to my advantage, I'm going to let it.
Well, I think he really does care. I mean, I've never seen anything about him that didn't care about the kids. I think he's just doing it his way. Look, we're gonna find out.
He really is all about.
Yeah, you're gonna find out pretty quick. I mean, their first game is. Oh wait, hang on a second. I apologize. I hit the wrong button. But I was just pulling up. Yeah, it still is. Their first game is the 2nd of September with TCU.
Oh, okay.
Then it's Nebraska. And look, I mean, just to show you Dion. Okay, think about this for just a second. Okay, for all of you listening out there, you don't think a name matters? You don't think Colorado paid him a lot of money for this next statement I'm getting ready to give you? TCU versus Colorado on 2nd of September, 12 p.m., Fox. Second week, Nebraska, 12 p.m., Fox. Third game of the year, Colorado State, 10 p.m., ESPN.
The Dion effect. You need to see him on the sidelines.
And then they've got Oregon, SC. I tell you, the game that I'm going to be watching, or the 2 games, is the September 23rd and September 30th, Oregon and USC versus Colorado.
Yeah, see the schedule, the Dion effect.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. To see how all that turns out as it goes forward. But anyway, let's turn our attention away from Live, away from NIL, and the comparisons I think are really there for those of you who are interested in soccer, and I am one of those that is an observer of soccer, and I've learned to like it over the last few years, especially probably about 10 years ago on the World Cup, and I started getting into it and seeing that, hey, soccer at a very high level is actually pretty cool to watch. Soccer at a lower level, not so much, but the Premier League, of course, and the Bundesliga and Germany, but and then of course South America. But big news coming out this week. Lionel Messi, one of the biggest stars in soccer, is signed with Miami and International, and this is a big deal. And there was a interesting post I wanted to talk about. They call it the Messi effect. It said a 9-3 match was last year. of Inter Miami versus LA Football Club are 5 times the price they were this morning.
Oh yeah.
I mean, now that's an effect. We said the Dion effect. That's an effect right there.
I mean, think about even on a smaller scale, when Zion Williamson was getting drafted by the Pelicans, they sold out on season tickets within the first month. Not even.
Okay.
The Pelicans never sold out on season tickets. Right?
So you're
talking about arguably the greatest player in soccer history, football history, and he's coming to Miami. Miami, where they don't – I mean, Miami's – right now, Miami is in – they got – I know the Florida Panthers are down 0-2, but they're in the Stanley Cup. Miami Heat are 1-1. They got a game tonight with them, and now their football club gets Messi. Miami is winning right now.
And then they got the Dolphins. But okay, but an interesting point, coming out of this is how much it drives the storyline. But when you look at this idea of the effect and what the kind of effects it's having on sports is, for the largest sports country in the world, okay, and that'd be the United States. The vast multiplicity of sports, everything else. Soccer has always been third or fourth rung. And, English Premier League, I'm a Tottenham guy. I got, it's always just, that's their, main sport. I mean, they really, what's really interesting is how much the NFL is broke in over there with those games that they have. But, again, it's amazing to me that more owners in the United States have not put up the bucks to get these stars. I mean, this one, even Messi is in his, he's in his last half of his career, definitely. But, that they would put more money up to get some of these bigger stars into the U.S. Beforehand. But, I think this may be the start of something, really interesting going forward.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether or not Messi coming here makes USA soccer important, but it will definitely make it a little more interesting.
Well, I think if you look at it too, you've got also the interesting issue here. And people forget this, that when Pele came and played for New York, it really, I think even to this day, kept Major League Soccer afloat. Okay? Even though he was past his prime, he came and people turned out. Beckham coming to the LA and playing in America, it again kept this idea and this momentum going. And now what you're saying, here's what the Major League Soccer in the United States has got to do. If they really truly want to have a chance, what is interesting is our best guys on our national team don't play. All of them don't play in the U.S. They play in Europe. Their main teams are English Premier League, France, Bundesliga, La Liga. They don't play in the U.S.
Right.
And until we can keep our best here and have the talent level up to where they can continue, then it's always going to be hard for MLS to actually break through.
Yeah, I mean, again, though, you're talking about a country that there's 3 major sports. NBA, NFL, and baseball pay an insane amount of money, and I'm not saying that the other leagues don't. But you're talking about like a pedigree of people teaching their kids baseball, teaching their kids football, teaching their kids basketball. That it starts from the ground up.
Oh yeah,
Got to start with taking the youth more seriously. I'm not sure that's going to happen, but it is kind of the. And again, like. Would you, if you're an NBA player, do you want to play overseas?
Yeah.
No, you want to play in the NBA, and play in Champions League or Premier League is always more important than playing for the MLS. And these guys are getting paid crazy money to come to the MLS, and it's great to have guys like Messi and Zlatan, who just retired. But again, when Beckham came here too. I'm just not sure it's ever going to take the way we've taken to the NFL or baseball or basketball or even hockey.
Oh, I don't disagree with you. Yeah, I think that's going to be the interesting play as it goes forward, and just seeing where it goes. Switching gears, got some interesting stories here. Here on we'll keep with the sports theme here for just a minute. The reporter, if you've not seen this went sort of viral. Samantha Rivera is a reporter out of Miami, CBS out of Miami, Channel 4 down there. She's in Vegas. And by the way, speaking of, we don't talk about hockey much on here, but Vegas is killing it right now. Golden Knights haven't been around but like 5 years or 4 years. They've been in the NFL and they've been in the championship Stanley Cup finals 2 of those times and probably are going to win it this time. She's reporting from Vegas about the Panthers. And this guy tries to get into the scene. And if you've seen this, James, she just puts, it's the best Heisman stiff arm you've seen in a while.
Yeah, the NFL Instagram page posted it because it was so good.
Oh, it is cool. She put on her Twitter page, she said, listen, I don't give a damn what team you're rooting for. Get the hell out of my face when I'm working and respect that I'm here to do my job. Excited to get home through some classy Panthers fans for Game 3.
I agree. It's so funny that people think they can just approach people while they're doing their job, right? Like, could you imagine if you were like right now you're doing this and then somebody comes in and just tries to get in your face drunk? I don't understand. Yeah. First of all, it's Las Vegas, so dudes were probably hammered and going crazy, and a lot of people probably were betting had money on the line and. Listen, people get out of hand, but to just get in a reporter's face, I'm so glad she just destroyed him on national television.
Oh yeah, it was classic. It was classic. Also, speaking of Vegas, the Oakland A's owner sort of, it's like taking your ticket to the counter before you've won kind of thing. He took the old Red Rocks and then got out of that contract, bought the Tropicana, thinking he was going to get $300 million. In public assistance from the state of Nevada to build the new Oakland or the new baseball stadium, and the legislature adjourned without taking it up. Now they can come back on a special session, which is what they did for the Allegiant Field out there. But wow, that's got to hit a little bit of a sore spot.
Good, he just basically tanked that team and then was like, all right, let's go to Vegas. So, and then, however he's affected doesn't bother me one bit.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we didn't mean to go here, folks, but we're going here. This will be a fun one. I have to. I'm not asked. The other night, the best team in baseball, the Atlanta Braves, was at New York.
Oh, here we go.
Last night, in this thing, and the Mets were up significantly in this game, and the Mets pulled the Mets, and the Braves won the game. And there is a character online that is a big Mets fan who broke salt shakers. Hey, James.
Oh, you're talking about Frank the Tank.
Frank the Tank.
From Barstool, absolutely.
And he goes freaking nuts. Okay. But as a Mets fan, I'll give you a minute here to, console.
What do you want me to say, Doug?
Frank the Tank.
You want me to say that I can't console him because he understands. You see,
out of the 3 teams, I watch the Mets the least. When I'm all season, because 162 games is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But understanding what it's like to live by every game for my other teams. If you have to live by every game as a Mets fan, your brain is going to explode. Now, they had a good little run and they were doing okay, and Pete Alonso is in the MVP category, even though the Mets aren't great. But poor Frank. I mean, the things he has to go through on a daily basis being a Mets fan. I think about my uncles who are huge Mets fan and all the people, and to be right next to the Yankees. If the Mets were in, I don't know, Idaho, You know, you could be like, okay, they're in Idaho. There's no one bothering them. It's whatever. But you're what a 45 an hour away from the other stadium, and you have to deal with Yankee fans talking about how garbage the Mets are. Listen, if anyone has a chance, if you have Sirius Sirius XM, go to channel 202 to listen to the Michael Kay show. He's the Yankees announcer, and he's also has a Michael Kay show. But they're the biggest sports talk in New York outside of what they're like in their world. They're Mike and the Mad Dog the way they used to be. To listen to the fans talk is so hilarious. If you spend it's 100 Frank the Tanks calling in. That's all it is. New York City has the most insane. New York, New Jersey, Tri-State has the most insane fan base. We may not be LA flipping cars and burning things, and we might not be Philadelphia throwing poop at Santa Claus. But when we get on, but the things we do and say when we get on the radio, when we talk, I'm telling you, it is the most insane thing you've ever heard because they don't even know what they're talking about half the time.
Right.
Some of them probably still think DeGrom's on the team. Which, by the way, sorry, Texas, that you guys got DeGrom. The Mets got rid of him at the right time, unfortunately. I love him, and I'll always remember him as a great Met, but he's got to get Tommy John surgery. But, yeah, listen, there's a million Frank the Tanks. It's just Frank happens to be on Barstool, and he's that poor guy. He's going to have a heart attack, I'm telling you.
Oh, my God. Well, if you didn't see this game, folks, it was a wild game. Pete Alonso took a huge shot out of the monster home run off Bryce Elder, one of our best pitchers, and of course Alonso goes around. He says, "Throw it again, please throw it again," in reference to his hanging slider. Elder, who by the way leads the league in 2.26 ERA, said he didn't really care. What was funny though was by the way, is Alphonse's 22nd home run of the year. Gave the Mets a 4-1 lead. And then the Braves got the last laugh, though, in the 6th inning when they rallied for 4 runs to take the lead for good. After Sean Murphy's 2-run double narrowed the Atlanta deficit to 4-3, Braves reliever Tyler Matzik appeared to yell, "Throw it again," toward the Mets.
Listen, they threw it at themselves, and that's just the way it'll always be. Again, you're a Mets fan. You have to know that they're going to do stupid things. What is it? What's the phrase? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Yep, and
that is the Mets in a nutshell.
Well, it goes back like we've always said. The Mets do make everyone else look good. So we'll see how that turns out. Maybe Mets may get the final laugh in that one as we go forward, but we'll see how that works. I got one for you though. We got to turn to the real world of stupid criminals. A man awaiting trial on suspicion of stealing a police car stole another one.
Honestly, I just appreciate that he believes in his skill set.
I mean, he sticks with it.
He's a diehard. He's true and true. Like he said, "Oh, you're going to arrest me for this?" Well, you know what? He probably knows they have enough evidence on him just to throw him in. So he's like, "Let's make it 2 and have a good time doing it."
Yeah, he said a Wisconsin. Here's the story: a Wisconsin man awaiting
it's Wisconsin. They have nothing else to do there.
Yeah, exactly. Awaiting trial on suspicion of stealing a police car. Stole another one last week, according to police. Daniel Barton, 34-year-old suspect, was initially arrested in December in Milwaukee after a police officer alleged that he stole his vehicle during a traffic stop. Are we getting visions of The Hangover here? Barton was charged with taking and driving the vehicle without owner's consent in court records. He was issued a warrant in February for failing to appear in court. According to the complaint, Barton was giggling as he drove off and was later found hiding in a garbage can. Despite being in the midst of legal proceedings, police arrested Barton again on Tuesday for what they said was yet another incident involving the theft of a squad car. Shows a squad car zooming past other police officers while they were conducting a traffic stop at 6 p.m. last Tuesday. Someone just stole my police car westbound on Capitol. An unknown police officer, seemingly in shock, can be heard on the radio. It's the same person who stole the MPD squad car before.
I think I like the part. I have a question. Did it say garbage can or a dumpster?
Garbage can.
So he hopped in a garbage can to hide, and they found him.
Yep.
You know what? Those are good police. That's the kind of thing you get away with, and it's a cutscene in a movie where the guy goes in the garbage can and disappears. Yep. Good on the cops for finding him, but Way to be. Wait, I want to meet this guy. He seems like a good time. Outside of the criminal entity, he seems like a good time.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're gonna find him. I mean, he'll be in a he'll be in a jail cell near you for a while. Speaking also though of you know, I'm always it was a line out of the old TV show The West Wing. It said, you know, the one thing I've always been most proud of, Bartlett says, he said, we have the dumbest criminals in the world, and it is pretty true. Moving right along down to letting you know that it's not just in Wisconsin, it is in Florida as well. A random man walked into a home right into a home off McGregor in Fort Myers while a family was eating dinner on Memorial Day evening with a strange story to tell. I could see an individual with red shorts on and no clothes, said the homeowner. When confronted, the man was shocked he was seen. He was like, "You can see me?" I'm like, "Yeah, we can see you." He started saying, "You can see me? I'm a ghost. You shouldn't be able to see me. I'm a ghost." The ghost was not translucent as thought, and he said, am I thinking, I don't care what you are, you're in my house. So I'm going here, he's going there. He's telling me his name is Kevin, and he has an Instagram page. According to Davis, her and her sister could not find the man's social media. McClaskey said the door was unlocked because he had a tree removal crew working in the front yard at the time, and that once this random man left the house, he tried to steal one of the company trucks.
Well, I just want to let everybody know, Kevin, what's his name? Kevin? He said his name was?
Yeah, his name
Kevin
is...
from Facebook is freebasing PCP. That man, he was not sober. Probably Florida. It could be bath salts. Either way, and again, these are both guys that are just having a good time. They're not thinking about anything else. This guy said, "Oh, that looks like a cool place to go. High on meth. Let me get in there, see what's going on, and then I'll introduce myself as Kevin on Facebook."
There you go. You know, you just – oh, speaking of which, I want to bring this up. You brought up Zion Williamson a few minutes ago.
I sure did.
You know, we're not going to get into this now, but I think at some point, one of our Friday's finest, we've got to go with the biggest NBA bust as well.
Ooh, listen, I got time. Listen, when we do that one, I'll be prepared, fully prepared.
We won't need to –
because we can talk about this one though. Yeah, we might end up putting John Morant in that category too at some point if he keeps doing what he's doing.
Oh my God!
Hopefully not.
Did you hear the last one about
whether it might be a toy gun?
It's a toy gun. Okay, you know, I mean, at some point in time, I'm really concerned for many reasons for this gentleman's mental health. But
even if it is a toy gun, it's you're not understanding the message you're sending.
Yeah, but even if it is, I mean, and you're going to be a thug, and you got a toy gun, and now everybody's telling you it was a toy gun. I mean, come on.
Listen, this is there's always been people who want to be something they're not, and in this category, unfortunately, it's a kid who has everything who wants to throw it all away to be cool around his friends. I mean, whatever the setting is, people have done stupid things to be cool around their friends, and this is one of them. And we don't have to get into it now, but it is interesting. Doug, can I say one more? I don't know if you have anything more, but I wanted to say one thing before we go because I know
I'm hearing I'm hearing we have an animal story.
So we have a zoo story, but it's not really a zoo. It's my backyard, my side yard rather. So. Okay. A week or so ago, a couple weeks ago, my sweet, loving dog, who's next to me right now, Mac, ran away. And he took off, and I couldn't find him, and it was pretty terrifying for the 45 minutes. And then, of course, he knows his way home, and he starts trotting down the street like it's all good, and I see him, and I almost killed him. But he thought nothing of it, so I was like, okay, we got to get cameras, got to make sure. Because I thought somebody may have opened our back door because that thing's backyard door because that thing's always shut. So we got a camera by the gate, camera by the side, camera in the front, the whole ring, the whole shebang. And I keep getting updates on the side of my house. Now, I don't know if I've discussed this on this show before, but we have a raccoon family that lives near us. They live in the sewers. And it's not one or two. It is 6, 7 raccoons. And last night, it's 1 a.m., and my phone starts buzzing, and I'm like, oh, great. Now there's somebody on the side of the house. And sure enough, it's a raccoon party, and they're messing around. They're playing with each other. They're throwing each other around. You hear them hissing. It was great. On that same trail the next night, the night before, was a coyote.
Wow.
And
An urban coyote?
and then which means the coyote knows probably where the raccoons hang out. So there's going to be a couple less raccoons probably pretty soon.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's bobcats in this area. And sure enough, a couple blocks down, somebody else's Ring doorbell has a bobcat trolling through their yard. So honestly, I've always had animals around me. I mean, I've lived in New Jersey, black bears, all that stuff. But to see them all just rolling through my side yard like that, the zoo stuff never stops in Dallas, and it's now verging onto my territory. So
okay,
I saw
but
that.
Now for folks, you don't live out in the sticks in Texas. You live inside.
No. I'm 25 minutes outside of Dallas, but it is a pretty woodsy area, and there's some, and I've seen the everyone always says they can't see the bobcat. I've seen him like 2 or 3 times. He's chilling out here, man. He's got rabbits. These squirrels, dude. I don't know if it's a South thing, but these squirrels are beefy. These squirrels are like 6'2", 450, and they're in our yard. They're weightlifting. They are the biggest squirrels I have ever seen in my life. I don't know if that's just a hunting opportunity. What was that?
That's good meat right there.
Listen, Doug, I don't have the weaponry to take on a squirrel. I mean, Max is supposed to be a hunting dog, but he's an idiot. So there's no world where he's going to get it. He's tried, but he's just a little too slow and maybe a little too old. But in all seriousness, like I'm telling you, man, my friend's he hunts and he gets squirrel all the time, and he's like, "You want some?" I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I want some. I've eaten some pretty weird stuff, but just backyard squirrel doesn't exactly sound like my cup of tea.
Oh, put a little lemon pepper, some salt and pepper, grill it up for about a minute and a half on a hot grill. Good stuff.
So we're talking about lemon pepper.
Oh no, just do regular black pepper, ground like peppercorn, or even put a little olive oil on it, and literally just put it on a hot grill, or if you got a iron skillet or whatever, for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, just enough to turn it, not overcook it. Yeah, it's good stuff.
So it's more like a good steak where you can keep it rare.
Yeah, you don't need to overcook it. It's about most wild game. People overcook wild game. And
see, these are the lessons I need to learn. See, we don't do that out in Jersey. We get our meat at the grocery store like people.
Yeah, no.
No, you guys got to get yours at the.
You just got to get it up and go, and you just cook it. If you get deer meat, moose meat, whatever. Yeah, it's cooking it. By the way, and if you want to know some great guy named Steve Ranella on the you can look him up. Meat Eater. The podcast he does, but he also writes books. Just a neat guy. He's been on Rogan many times, and in fact, I think he actually taught Rogan to hunt, and broke because Rogan was going through that vegan phase, and but he taught him to hunt. And now Rogan is a huge hunter, bow hunter. So with him and Cam Haynes and John Dudley and all.
Listen, Doug. Next time we have on the bow hunter, I'm forgetting his name. I'm blanking out.
Dudley.
Yeah, is that who we had on?
John Dudley. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, we should have him on again. But what we should do is we should go on a hunt with him for the show.
That'd be great. I'd love to.
And then we'll film we'll film the hunt, and then we'll film the cooking.
Well, yeah, he does a thing called TAC, which is tactical archery. Anyway, they use like during the summer they'll do old ski resorts and stuff like that where they move around at elevation. I don't know if they come into the South. I know they were in Pennsylvania recently. I know they do a lot out in Utah, Colorado, Washington. If they come to the South, we may see about doing something like that.
Well, you're in the South, and I know you bow hunt, right? So do you have any? Listen, anybody we can get, we can do it. We can just do it us. I'm Terry. I don't know anything about hunting. I am as East Coast, not non-hunter as you can get, but I'm down for it, and I'm willing to try anything.
Well, so we need to get Waddell back on. Michael Waddell.
We'll get you, Waddell. We'll do the whole thing. We'll go now. Does Waddell come? Is he in the South? He's in Georgia. Is he not?
Georgia. He's Georgia. He's south of me.
There we go. We'll do a whole show with you two. We'll make a whole YouTube video out of it. We'll do the whole shebang, and then everybody on here can watch it and watch me make a fool of myself. I'll look like if anyone has seen The Sopranos, I'll look like Bobby Bacala in a big orange suit. If you don't know what it is, Google it. You'll know.
I love it. I love it.
So, yeah.
We'll see. And also, folks, we're still playing. We still got some big plans here for the Doug Collins podcast. We still got the Raiders Vikings in Vegas in December. We got December. So we got to still look at doing that. But look, that's another Friday's Finest. We promise you, we'll cover from end to end stories you haven't heard, stories you have heard, all with our take on it. James and I love to be with you on Friday's Finest. So take care. Have a great weekend. And I just have a special shout out for this Friday's Finest. It is a celebration of a wonderful time. It is a celebration of my 35th wedding anniversary to the one that makes the whole show go, and that is Miss Lisa. And
congratulations. 35 years.
Yep.
It's a hell of a run, Doug.
Well, it's a good one. Keep on going. She keeps me going. So anyway, folks, y'all have a great weekend. Always glad to be with you here on the Doug Collins podcast. James, say goodbye.
Take care, everybody.